Welcome to the Masterpiece Effect, where we don't just chase success, we craft it. I'm Alnaj, self-leadership alchemist, Ironman finisher, and your guide on this unconventional journey to elite performance, legacy, and self-mastery. This is not your average personal development podcast. Here, we're questioning the narratives, dismantling limitations, and redefining what it means to lead yourself, your life, and your legacy. If you're ready to move beyond high achievement into intentional creation, you're in the right place. Let's begin crafting the ultimate masterpiece, you. Hello, my friends. Today's episode might sting just a little bit. Now, I want to start off by saying I'm always so appreciative of the questions that are being sent in. And if you have a question that's been sitting on your mind, please feel free to send it in to al@alnaj.com and let's have that deeper conversation. What I have discovered is we always seem to think that our questions are unique, that this is something that only I am struggling with at the moment. That little thing that is like an elastic band around my waist, just preventing me from getting to where I want to be, and I can't figure it out. Thing is, we are all connected, and in consciousness, we are all evolving together, which means the question that one person has, multiple people are trying to find the answer to. More importantly, sometimes when somebody else asks the question, it is easier for us to receive the answer because we don't have all the resistance going on. We're not so attached to the question. So you asking your question is in service of so many other listeners, just as others asking their question often gives you the answer that you've been looking for, but you don't have the resistance because it doesn't feel so personal to you. And so the more challenging the question, the greater the service and the greater the impact that we are making on the collective. Which is why I'm so appreciative of today's question, which is how can I cultivate deep self-trust to make decisions aligned with my inner wisdom rather than seeking external approval? This is something that I encounter ever so often, especially in consultations. I will have somebody come onto a call ready to make a transformation, ready to shift in their lives, ready to go to the next level. And then as we go through the conversation and we get to the space in which a decision is required, especially when it is a significant financial decision that needs to be made, so often people will back out and say, I will first need to speak to my partner. Now, on the one hand, I 100% get that financial investments, if finances is intertwined in a partnership, does deserve having that conversation. Although I'm also going to invite that if you are considering working with a coach or a mentor and you know that it is going to have a financial investment attached to it, have that conversation with your partner prior to getting onto the call. I want you to start setting yourself up for success by ticking all the boxes and then putting yourself in the position of choice and decision. Asking others for permission, for approval, actually has got nothing to do with the approval piece, even though that is what we are being told. People who don't want to make decisions aligned with their inner wisdom simply don't trust themselves to make the decision. They don't trust themselves to be the person that follows through on the decision that they have made. And rather than being honest and truthful with themselves, not from a space of self-shaming, but just going, well, okay, I am not 100% sure that I can live up to this decision. They go for the protection of another. They take the responsibility off themselves so that they can feel a little bit better in deciding to seek the approval, the protection of another. Again, I am not making any of this wrong. I am simply having a conversation for greater clarity. Now, this phenomenon is especially strong in women at this time. On the one hand, we are seeing so many women stepping up and saying that they choose to be the master of their own lives, their own decisions, their own choices, and they take full responsibility for that. But we have to be compassionate in understanding that we are coming out of a consciousness era in which women have been traditionally protected by men in their decision making. And so it's okay for you to fall back into this old conditioning. I just want to create the awareness for you so that you can consciously choose or choose not to fall into this conditioning again. Who would you be as the woman or man who does not need the approval of somebody else to make your decisions? Who would you be as the woman or man who does not need the protection of another in the making of the decisions? The man or woman who choose to live with their decisions and whatever the outcome might be of that, believing that whatever the outcome is the best outcome in your personal evolution in this experience that we call life. Sometimes it is way easier for us to start practicing this decision-making muscle, to strengthen it with smaller decisions that we need to make. And make no mistake, my friend, we make hundreds of decisions every single day, from what to drink to what to wear to how do we put the eyeliner on today, to the conversations that we are having, to what we are focusing on creating. Every little choice is a decision that you are making, which is speaking into who you are choosing to be at this time. Your identity that you're holding for yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously, will dictate what it is that you are drinking right now. Your identity that you are holding for yourself, consciously or unconsciously, is guiding your decision in who to engage with next. So this is why all of my work is around the identity piece, because I have come to understand that the identity is everything. And that if you are struggling with changing your behaviors, if you are struggling to make your decisions, it is because of the identity that you are holding of yourself in decision making. Your identity is somebody of distrust, of inner guidance. Your identity is of somebody who needs the guidance, the responsibility taken by another, the validation, the approval of another. It is the identity that you are holding for yourself. And if you want to change your behavior, you have to change your identity. So if you can start paying attention to the teeny tiny little choices and decisions that you are making every single day, thereby living way more presently, with way more intention, with way more focus, what you will find is that you will see where you are being guided through your inner wisdom, through your inner being, through your alignment to your highest potential self, and where you are just conditioned in your behavior, conditioned in your choices. It's almost as though you are doing things on automatic, and it's not in a uplifting and positively enhancing way. It is so often our conditioning that is keeping us from being our best version selves, from being the exception, because conditioning is created through mass conditioning. It is the space of the status quo. It is the realm of conformity. And so if you want to break free from this realm of conformity, if you want to move beyond the status quo, what you have to start paying attention to is how you are making your decisions, where you are making them from. Are you making them from conditioned patterns in your mind, or are you making them from a longing, an internal desire, an understanding of who you have already become on an energetic level, which really comes from your heart and your gut centers? So you can choose to feel into your decisions and any given moment and saying, is this coming from my head or is this coming from my gut and my heart? And start seeing what is the consequences, what is the outcome of the decisions that you are making. Again, not from a space of wanting to criticize yourself or shame yourself, but genuine curiosity. If you want to thrive in this lifetime, I highly recommend that you start taking on the identity of someone who is hugely curious, experimenting with life, experimenting with your actions, experimenting with your thoughts. If I think this, if I speak this, if I do this, what is the feedback that life is giving me? And through this, you start refining what it is that you put out so that you can refine what it is that is shown back to you. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. And please take this pressure off yourself. My partner took me on the most exquisite trip this weekend. And part of what we were seeing was a lake so magnificent, so expansive, so mind-blowingly beautiful, that was crafted through thousands of years of glaciers just plummeting down and melting. Nature is so patient. Nature doesn't rush anything. Nature just lets things flow and unfold, allowing for the impacts of one action on another, on another, on another. But we as humans have become so impatient with ourselves. We have a look at what others have created, not understanding the internal journey that has taken them to this point, and then wanting their outcomes instantly. If I'm just doing what they are doing now, I will get the results that they have gotten from who they have become in the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It doesn't work that way, my friend. So when you want to start trusting yourself, you have to start practicing this. But more importantly, you have to become the person who practices this. Where are you not taking responsibility for your decisions? Every little decision. And what are the stories that you are telling yourself around that? Because until you become clear with yourself about what is truly going on, you will keep on taking different actions and getting the same results, and you will frustrate yourself and you will create unnecessary suffering within yourself. And on the one hand, you will say that you want to change so badly, and on the other hand, you will keep blaming whatever or whoever it is for keeping you stuck. True liberation and freedom comes from creating your own identity. Now, if this is something that you desire support in, I can support you right now in two ways, and that is either through private work or alternatively joining the free Facebook group Full Moon Chronicles, where I do free masterclasses every single month to delve deeper and deeper into self-understanding and identity. Both of these options are available to you right now. But you have to decide what is the action that you are going to take, and decide why you are taking it and what you are committed to creating from this decision. Always remember that wherever you're finding yourself in life, right here, right now, you can turn that into your masterpiece. That's it for today's episode of The Masterpiece Effect. But your transformation doesn't stop here. If something resonated, challenged you, or sparked a new insight, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts. Connect with me at alnash.com. And if you found value in this conversation, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because life's too short for mediocrity. Let's create a masterpiece. See you next time.